And we're live. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great Wednesday, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here. So for anyone tuning in for the first time, or just give a brief introduction, this is our weekly health Q&A where we take questions from the community and just kind of different health-related topics as we shift our bodies from the acidic nature of organized society back to the alkaline state as God intended, as Jesus Christ taught. So yeah, as always, we're always joined, or I'm always joined by Toni Weel behind the scenes, who is a trained under Dr. Morse, not iridologist, but a detox specialist. And yeah, Toni dedicates herself to sharing the wisdom that she's gained along the way of not only improving her own health, but seeing others improve this by following this simple path of fruits, berries, and melons. And, you know, if you need a little extra boost of herbs and fasting, but really getting back on the fruits is the key. So we're always grateful to have Toni with us. So yeah, thanks for being here, Toni. Do you have any opening words for us today?
Not that much. I am actually officially an iridologist.
Oh, nice.
I just need to gain more experience with it. And I think once we have the big launch of freaksenseworld.com, I'm going to focus on that and read people's eyes and get into more details about what the issues can be or are. And I think that is a very interesting path. And I want to show also how people can read their own eyes. There's so much information and charts on to be found on the internet. There are books about it and colorful charts that you can use. And most of it you can for free or very, very low price. So I would definitely suggest, get into that because it's actually fun. And especially when you're detoxing and you see the changes. But when people go from green eyes to bright blue eyes, or you see the sulfur in your body, and you can see that in the eyes, it's kind of orangey, and you see it getting less and less, and then you know that you are on the right path. So it's interesting to keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, iridology from what I've looked into seems to be the most comprehensive, like quick look in at someone's health. You can really get such a good. There's so many elements to the eyes and where things are positioned, but you really can get such a wonderful idea on the state of someone's health. And like Toni said, you get to sort of track those improvements and can really do it along the way without anything being obtrusive. You just have to take a picture of your eyes, which is not that difficult. Dr. Morse has a video on his channel on how best to take an eye picture. And so I've started. I took a set the other day, and I'm planning on doing that, periodically, just to kind of document and track my journey. So I'd highly recommend anyone else doing that who's on this healing path.
Yeah, the thing with taking a picture is you need to get the really deep details, and that is not that easy to do when you do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I have my pictures taken at Dr. Morse's clinic, and I looked at them and I was like, that's not how my eyes look. My eyes are blue. Now there's all this whitish. Well, these are your eyes. And then they explained to me that was all stagnated lymph. I was like, this is a few years ago. And I'm like, okay, I got some work to do here. So it really did not look like my eyes. It was strange. But you can see a lot in it. A lot is revealed. And the thing is that Dr. Morse follows it's lymphatic iridology. There are other ways of iridology, and I had my eyes read by them too, even after I took the course for iridology. And I did not know what she was talking about. There were so many names that were unknown to me, and she even has an iridology school. And she's well known, but I did not understand what she was telling me. And we like to keep it actually simple. These are the kidneys, this is your lymph system, this is your bowels, this is sulfur, and here you can see your parathyroid, your thyroid, the liver, the skin, things like that. And when you come with all these names that you can't even pronounce, it's difficult to get into it for people. So it is, what we follow is Dr. Morse's lymphatic iridology. Big difference.
Yeah, good to know. And yeah, you brought up a good point of you definitely do need someone to help take the pictures. But at least one other person, maybe two. Eugene helped me take the pictures, which is helpful because then you can have one hand holding the light, one hand opening your eye, and then someone else taking the picture and making sure it's good and focused.
Yeah,
Or if you
always make sure that the light shines on the pupil, not on the iris itself, because then
Yes.
you have a reflection and you can't see anything.
Yes.
And I have, and it's maybe easier to find, I also have the video on my YouTube
Oh, nice.
channel.
Nice. Yeah, that should be
And that
good.
is, I made a link like toniweel.com/videos. So that it goes directly to the YouTube channel.
Yep. And that's in the show notes, toniweel.com/videos.
Yeah. Okay, when we go into the first question is actually about dogs, dog feeding. And it's the person who asked it. Oh, I see, I didn't print it out, but that's okay. I remember it. The dog was on Darwin raw meat, and I have my cats on there, and I'm starting to have doubts if it really works, because there are a lot of additives in it. It's like all kinds of minerals and vitamins, and we already know that it's usually not really helping. The animals, the dogs, can get what they need out of the food, but I would think that some herbs would work better than a load of vitamins and minerals. I'm not. Yeah, I have some cats that are actually, I have two cats with cancer in my rescue, or actually it turned more into a sanctuary, because they're not going to go anywhere. They stay here till the end of their lives. And they got cancer the same way that we get it, the wrong foods. And when you take in animals, they often have been fed on a certain food. Now, I have to admit, dogs are so much easier to feed than cats. I think a cat is the most finicky eater that you can imagine. It's like, and when you take in rescues, they can be feral, so they pretty much eat anything and everything. But if they already live with other people and they have been fed on commercial dry food, then even if you buy the best dry food that you can find, organic and good meats and where it's made from, it's still dry food, and it makes them sick. It makes them sick. So I hate to see it. And they don't want to eat anything else. And you cannot fast a cat like you can fast a dog. When you do that with a cat, in 2 days, the kidneys start what is it? What is the word now? When the kidneys go down.
A fail?
I'm sorry?
Fail? Or
Yeah, it's I was looking for another word, very simple word, but never mind. You understand what I mean. So with dogs, actually, when I was taking Dr. Morse's classes, there were people with dogs. So this was the first time that I actually met dogs that were solely fed on fruit. And it was very rare, actually, that they ate some raw veggies. It was mostly fruit, and the dogs were thriving. They were beautiful. They were relaxed, but also playful. There was nothing wrong with it. Now, when you have a sick animal, and Nora Lenz is she has a website, and she has a book. She wrote a book about motion. Rotational mono feeding, RMF, and I think that is also the name for her website. She wrote a book about it, and what she does is a 1 day of meat, 1 day of fruit, 1 day of fasting. So you rotate that. And some dogs do well on it, others don't. It is, you know, it can take a long time before you actually find the balance as in what they can eat. Now, dogs do not have to live on meat. They can, but they don't have to. So it is, yeah. I can only suggest that you check out her Facebook page and her book. I think her book is like $15. I do have an overview over what to feed and what not to feed. I can send that, but I think when you go to the website actually on Facebook, you will find a lot of people post the problems that they have and they're getting answers and solutions. So you may want to check that out for one of your dogs, because I understood one was doing well and the other one wasn't. And it's like, it's the same as with us, you know, we need to get that lymph moving. We need to have the kidneys filtering, and that's all pretty much the same. And when a dog is that sick, it's acidic. It's like my two cats out of many, you know, they have cancer. Others don't eat the same food. It's yeah, it's difficult. And it's always difficult when you see one of your babies going downhill and you don't really know what to do, knowing that when you do take them to the vet, they for sure don't live that long. I actually had a cat, well, I still have her, but I've had two cats that had the same issue as she had with her mouth. And the veterinarians, they were at a total loss of what it could be. And they said, yeah, this is what you see when you have multiple cats. And to me, it did not make any sense. And so I took them to holistic vets, and oh, we tried out anything and everything, and it wasn't helping, and the cat died. Both cats died. So the third one that had the same problem, I didn't do anything. And she's been, you know, this is 3 years ago, she's still around. So sometimes you wonder what you need to do, but I have to say my experiences with going to veterinarians, the cats never lived long after that, especially not when they got on pharmaceuticals. So, and I've had cats that had thyroid problems, cancer, kidney problems, you know, all the things people have to, and we have to be so careful with what we feed them. Now, Nora Lenz also has a whole thing about what you can feed cats, because a cat cannot live on fruit alone. They need the meat. They are meat eaters. It is what it is. And if people cannot handle that because they don't want to deal with the meat, because they don't, you know, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to eat it, ethical. I understand, you know, ethical, vegan, then don't have cats. So that's my my story.
Yeah, no, it's good feedback, and yeah, fortunately dogs are a little bit easier than cats. And just speaking from, so so Kathleen, your question was about your dog's health kind of deteriorating from switching the diet off of the raw chicken from Darwin's. So my take is your dog is likely detoxing from you know, I don't know what's in Darwin's, but from what Tony said, that they've got additives and things in it as well. Um, and when we shift diets like that, all of us will experience detox symptoms of some degree or another. So that's likely what's going on right now. Um, my take would be to since you said your dog's losing or has lost teeth, I would look at doing all fruit and do smoothies. So just blending up his or her favorite fruit, and just having that in abundance. You know, there's not an amount of fruit that would be too much. And the dogs are very intuitive. If they don't want to eat, it means that they're being compelled to fast, which is as we've got to get this idea that we have to eat something all the time in order to heal. In actuality, healing happens when we have less things in our body when we do fast. So animals are very intuitive when they need to fast and not. So if he's not eating, if you know he likes the food but he's not eating, then it might be that he needs to fast in order to heal from something. But I think smoothies would be a great way to give him something, give him or something, yeah, him something, so that he can eat it without the teeth. And you said he can't tolerate any fat at all. So, that's a good sign as well. Fats don't do too well for us when we're healing, when we're detoxing. So it could be a similar case. They slow down digestion. So fruits really do seem to be, and just speaking from my experience with my dog, she only eats fruit. Like I'll give her carrots and um, every once in a while and broccoli every once in a while, but vast majority of the time she's on fruit. So she'll have in the morning I'll give her like 6 or 7 bananas, and then for her evening meal I'll give her a cantaloupe or watermelon or papaya. She loves papaya, and I'll just kind of, depending on what fruit I have in abundance and what's starting to go, that's usually what I'll give her, or what I can get in large quantity, a little bit cheaper. That's usually what I give her, but she loves those three, and she loves most fruit. And so whenever I'm eating fruit, I try and see if she'll want a piece of it, and then I just take note of what she likes and then try feeding her a whole meal of that. But we know that mono meals are best for us and in our digestion. So the same should go for all creatures. Mono meals are best. So I give her a mono meal of one type of fruit, and I give her really as much as she wants. I've gotten a pretty good idea on how much is her full amount. But until then, I was just filling her bowl and even refilling her bowl until she was done, until she had had enough and she was finished. And because you're not gonna be able to overfeed on fruit like that. So that's been my approach with my dog. I'm fortunate that I started early with her. She's younger. She's turning 3 here in just in a week or so. Nice. But so she's younger, and so she's been this way for a good chunk of her life. So she hasn't had to have to do as much adjusting. But that's just my kind of experience with my dog so far. So hopefully that helps. Just yeah, you're doing the right thing, and just keep at it.
Good idea, those smoothies. I didn't even think of that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's when teeth get bad, it has to do with the acidity in the body. And one dog can have it worse than the next one. And if it is detoxing, very possible, if she is throwing up, then it definitely, the body says, nope, don't want it. So then you don't feed it. And maybe the next day it would be fine. So it is, but getting to as much fruit as possible would be a good thing. I do have something that that it is about cooking the food for our pets. And to me, it makes no sense because, in the wild, they don't eat cooked food either. Now I have to say Nora Lenz does do the cooked food, but never, ever do, what was the list? The grains like rice, wheat, oats, barley, and corn. They should not be in any dog food at all.
Or people food.
Huh?
Or people food.
Yeah, but it's like millet is the easiest to digest, but it also has to be cooked. And I know a lot of people use quinoa, and dogs do like it, but seems so odd to me to give your pets cooked food. And I know I'm guilty of that too, because my cats, a few of my cats love the canned food. So well, what can I do? Only that's all they eat. And yeah, they actually have a few that do thrive on it, but it's still a cooked mess, even though it's organic. So, yeah. Okay. I don't know. Are there any more questions about the dogs or the pets?
Well, Kathleen just added he won't eat smoothies and he can't eat fruit because he can't chew. So I was just gonna add, Kathleen, I don't know if there's much else we can offer here with that. I would just encourage you to keep researching and asking the community with what other people have done. But I don't have any more experience to offer.
Yeah, really look on Nora Lenz's website, which is rotational mono feeding, or actually her group, and you can ask questions there. There are always a lot of people who share their experiences with it, and yeah, go from there. I hope you get your answers there.
Yeah, and then I think you had one other emailed question, and then I've got some in the chat too. We can move to.
Yeah, I have two here.
Okay.
One is from Jeanette. I'm 90% fruit since April 1, no meat, dairy, or eggs. Thanks to your example and sharing, I'm very grateful. Well, thank you. You're doing good. For 30 years of my 60-year life, I suffered with autumn allergies. The most recent 10 years, I've been allergy-free, with the allergies resurfacing this fall. I'm curious about your thoughts on this and the possible fruit-focused connection and any suggestions you might have as I work through this time. Lots of sneezing, itchy eyes, runny, stuffy nose, nice detox symptoms. My main goal is to fruits in recent weeks are bananas, grapes, and oranges. Well, you may want to cut out the bananas for a little while. And you're doing pretty good already. I think this is part of the detox, the stuff that you had like 10 years ago, it comes back. I don't know how long you've had it now that it came back. It's your allergies. When they come back after being gone for so long, it shouldn't be for a long time. It should be maybe a few weeks, and then it usually stops again. So you didn't let me know how long it's going on. Grapes and oranges are absolutely great, and you do what you can and you will get through it. There are some herbs that can probably help, but it still has to do with the lymph. The lymph not moving enough, and so check if your kidneys are filtering. Do that in the morning and check a few times, a few days in a row, maybe every other day. And if they're filtering, then start with the dry brushing and get your lymph moving, and it should get better.
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo that. I think when we shift over to a fruit lifestyle, we do kind of have to just accept the fact that we're gonna go through a period where we might experience a lot of uncomfortable symptoms, but this is the body just expelling, just getting rid of it. So it's, you just kind of have to dig in and push it all out.
We have Julie saying, inspired by your information, I tried the frugivore lifestyle and found that whilst I felt it was the best in many ways, I put on lots of fat around my midsection and was always hungry. I was eating mono fruit 3 meals per day. Where was I going wrong? I don't think it was fat around your midsection. I think it could be water. And I looked up what Dr. Morse had to say about that, and he kept going back to the, again, as always, the lymph system. Are your kidneys filtering? Is your lymph moving? Did you clean out your GI tract? Because when starting on the frugivore lifestyle, yes, you can clean your body out when you are on fruit only, but your GI tract may need a little help, and that's why we have some amazing herbs for, and really clean it out and clean out the parasites, because if you ate meat in the past, you have parasites. So those need to be cleaned out. So when you do these things, I think that you will not experience that same problem. It's the same as with weight gain during fasting or during juicing. I've heard that from quite a few people, and it's usually just water weight. So try, and I would love to talk to you about how you have been doing things, and how you can clean out your GI tract. I think that is pretty important, and it all works together. And I don't know what other symptoms you had. It's great that you were feeling better, but I would say, keep doing it, keep working on it. And yeah, I can easily be reached. I'm on Messenger, I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on, what else am I on? Oh, and a new website, of course, freaksenseworld.com. And even on Telegram, and all under my own name, Toni Weel. So you can always find me somewhere. An email, of course. So then we can talk and see and figure out the details. But it's sometimes it's in the little details. Am I still making sense,
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would just need to really holistically look at what all you're consuming, and are you having salt? Are you having sorts of other things which can cause water retention and things of that nature. So you just kind of have to look at all the factors, but it does take a minute for our bodies to stabilize. So that can show up in different ways for different people.
Yeah, I think if we could just, it's already a big start when you start with transitioning, and you leave out the meat, the dairy, and yes, dairy is also the yogurts, the cheeses, and you leave that all out. But if you then think, okay, I'm going to do the coconut yogurt, now that's fermented. You don't want that in your body either. And it's not like, you have to do that all at once. It's just, take 2 weeks and say, okay, no more meat ever. It's not, I do no meat for 2 weeks and see what happens. That's not you don't do yourself any good. Just, and then the next week you leave out something else, and especially the greens, our all-time favorite breads. So it's a slow process, but you'll get there. And if you're very sick and you need to really do something right now, yeah, then you can jump in. But other than that, start with leaving out all the foods that have been making you sick, and go slow.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix.
Absolutely, yeah. But I thought it was funny that Julie said, I tried the frugivore lifestyle. It's like, there's no such thing as trying. I'm always mean about that. For me, it's like, you either do it or you don't.
Yep, that's what Yoda said. All right.
I don't want to be mean. I don't know.
No, it's true though. All right. Did you have any other questions, or you want to?
No, those are, I haven't checked my email anymore, but I think that was the question that I had.
Okay. So I had a few from the chat. Let me see here. Green-minded Wolf asks, is it a good idea to make smoothie with fruits and distilled water? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
Dances on Waves. What's the best protocol for lung cancer? I'm treating a male friend and have been giving him Dr. Morse's 3-lung herbal blend, lung detox, along with the diffuser, frankincense, and myrrh. And of course, he is eating only fruit.
Well, that's a very good start. I mean, especially the 3-lung tea, it helps you getting the mucus out. I have clients who have lung cancer, and it's a tough road. But those things may help, but you still have to address the kidneys and the lymph system and the adrenals, because you only get cancer in a very acidic body, and you get it then in the weakest areas for you, that were your lungs. So you really do have to address the kidneys, and are they filtering adequately? Um, how is your blood pressure? Is it like 60, 70 over, no, I'm saying that wrong, 120, 130 maybe over 60 to maximum 70? Is it lower? Do your adrenals need some help? It all goes together. It's not that I take the 3 long products and nothing else is needed. You definitely need to address the rest too. Now, it's pretty good at all fruits. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really great. I would just add, you might want to look into incorporating some fasting, whether that be just intermittent, just having a smaller eating window in the day, just to give your body some time to rest, or if you want to extend that into, maybe like a 24-hour dry fast, this can help encourage kidney filtration and just give the body some time to regenerate. That would be a great thing. And then and also just spending time out in nature, and really look at the environmental factors, especially with lung cancer and the air quality that we're breathing. So if you can maybe get a mold inspection and see if there's any mold in the house, or what the air quality is, where the sleep is in the bedroom, especially, and just look at things of that style. But getting out in nature with the fresh air, taking those deep breaths, and yeah, getting that sunshine and grounding on the earth is going to be another great thing of just improving health all around, but should certainly help with that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't start with a dry fast of 24 hours right away. It's a slow buildup. And the most important thing is to make sure you're well hydrated.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that before. Dehydration is rampant, and we all have it. It happens to me. We don't drink enough during the day. It just happens.
Mhm.
But with a dry fast, if you can, you can do like from 8 o'clock in the evening till 10 in the morning. You already have 14 hours, and you just build it up slowly. It can help the kidneys to filter, but it's not something like, oh, I have to do that every day. See, if you do it 2, 3 times a week and you build it up a little, that would be great. That would already be helping. Dr. Morse is very, very clear about never do a dry fast longer than maximum 36 hours, and he's not even that happy about that either.
Mm.
And I did it, and I was actually sick, so I felt I had no choice. I was like, I ate something that was bad, and I got so sick. So I was like, okay, the best thing is to not take anything, no water, no nothing. So I made it up to 24 or 26 hours, and then I had some fruit juice for a few days. Oh, no, water actually for a few days, until I started with fruit again and until my body recovered.
Wow, nice.
So, your body tells you what to do. If you're in pain, you're not feeling well, then, you fast. But with the dry fast, I feel that a lot of people are really overdoing it or putting the emphasis on the dry fast.
Mm.
It is when kidneys are stubborn and don't filter, it can be helpful, but so can a castor oil pack. And I just came across something really, really interesting. And I planned to send it to you and I forgot. That was about, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Getting kidney filtration is one of the most important things you can do for your health. This is where acids and toxins in your lymphatic sewer system are expelled from the body. Without filtration, true healing cannot take place. And this Matthias Thornburg Anderson, he gave this info out. He got his stubborn kidneys to filter after only 2 days of doing this. So this is very remarkable.
Mm.
So he writes, dry skin brush the skin on your lower back where the kidneys are until it turns red. This will stimulate blood flow in the area. Rub some cayenne pepper on the skin. Start with a small amount at first in case you are sensitive to it. It could sting a bit. You can mix it with a little castor oil to help rub it in. Soak 3 layers of cloth, preferably wood because you can reuse it, but cotton will do, in castor oil. Put it over the lower back to cover both kidneys. Cover with a heating pad or hot water bottle to help the oil absorb into the body. You can cover the cloth with cellophane to keep the oil from spreading. Leave it on for an hour or more as you lay on your stomach. Read a book or watch TV. No, we don't watch TV. Or just relax. We'll stick to read a book. Check your urine for clouds. You just might see some. You can reuse the wool cloth just keep it in the refrigerator and apply more oil for the next use. You should, of course, be high in raw fruits and veggies, mostly fruits. Do some light exercise and do some deep breathing. And using some of Dr. Morse's kidneys herbs can help too. So I had not heard that of the cayenne and of the skin brushing on especially where the kidneys are. So that is something I haven't tried it yet, but I definitely will and see if that works.
Yeah, I need to find some way to get castor oil around here. I haven't been able to find it. I've been looking for it.
Yeah, and it has to be hexane free. So here you can buy it everywhere. I should have known that. I could have added it to your package. Yeah, we now know we can actually send herbs to the herbal formulas to Mexico. The only thing is it cannot be from Dr. Morse's office. They don't ship it there, but I can. You have to be aware, though, that customs or whatever we are going to call them,
the cartel,
they add up quite a bit. But we found that even with shipping to Canada, to Israel, to the Netherlands. So yeah, custom fees. Yeah. Sometimes even more than the whole products.
Yeah. Just a quick comment. Annie Davis says, Toni, you have done an excellent job on Freak Sense TV website. Thank you for all your devoted time.
Well, thank you. Still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but on that note, anyone who hasn't signed up to be on the website, there's a link to join, link to the website in the show notes. So come on over and check it out and see how it works and start trying out some things. It all fits together really well. I like how it works. It's simple, straightforward, and Toni really has done an excellent job on that.
More to come, especially on in the health section. I was like, okay, I'm doing that part last. First Charlie's stuff on there, and then I work out more of the health sections that, the videos we do can be there, the other videos that you do. And interesting that you had a video with John Stearns. He was actually the first practitioner I spoke with when I learned about Dr. Morse.
Oh, nice.
So he was the first one who read my eyes.
Nice.
It's quite a few years ago. He writes amazing articles. So for everyone, find him on Facebook on his own his personal page, because otherwise you cannot forward anything. But on his own personal page you can. And I thought already 2 years ago that his articles are so amazing that I am going to put that into an ebook. And it's in that's another.
Is that you're the one who's helping him? He mentioned someone was helping him with that.
Yeah, that's me.
Aha, wow. You just do everything, Toni. You do everything. Wow.
Yeah, because it's like I don't want that stuff to get lost. And you know what? He has, I think, about 900 articles.
Wow.
So we're looking through it, and it's like, my gosh, we cannot even put that in one book, and they're all good.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
so So one of these days, I hope that by the end of the year we will have it.
Amazing. Well, I'm definitely going to stay connected with him as well. I really love his perspective, and he puts it all together really well. And I like his no bullshit approach too, which is really refreshing, as we all like within the Freak Sense community.
Yeah, he can be interesting. He said to me one time, it's like, you're just a ball of acid. No, I was like, well, gee, John, thank you.
That's funny.
Got work to do.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we all do.
Mhm. Green-minded wolf asked the Schussler tissue salts, your thoughts. Thank you guys so much. So the cell salts, my take on those is anything sort of synthetically made, I'm not a huge fan of. I know a lot of people sell those and claim to be good things. I don't have any experience taking them to know if they would do anything for me. But you can find lists of where those cell salts are in different types of foods. So if you really want to focus on getting any particular tissue salts, cell salts in the whole foods, you can do that. And I think that's a much better approach of going about it than taking supplements and pills and things. So
Yeah, I
that's kind of
have
my thing.
taken them for years, actually, quite a while ago, and I never noticed any difference. But the reason for not noticing any difference is I did not change my diet to all fruit back then. And so if you are that acidic and you keep putting in the same foods, then you can, take all the cell salts that you want. It's not going to make any difference.
Mhm.
And so no, I do have, well, yes, I have experience with it, and no, it didn't do anything for me. Now, Dr. Morse has been asked about it, and he was like, yeah, well, you can take them if you want to. So to me, that was clear, like, no, you don't need them.
Mm. Yeah.
And some people will say it's like, if you don't take them, you're gonna be sick or dead or whatever. It's like we don't need to take anything external that is not meant for us. It's like with the vitamins and the minerals. I mean, the discussions I can see about how badly we need the minerals. And yeah, the soil is depleted, but we already know that whatever grows in that depleted soil, the roots go deeper. And I'm sure that if there was nothing for that tree to grow on, it wouldn't grow.
Mhm.
And people try to come with science and tell me, no, that was not possible that way. And I'm like, well, put a tree on bare grounds, and is it going to grow? Does it going to have juicy fruit? No, it doesn't. So, and there's a lot of external minerals added to the food for the fruits. And so, but that means that we're still getting it from the fruit. We don't need to, like, we have that sulfuric acid now. That's actually food for plants. It's not food for people, it's food for plants. And we eat the plants. And there's a whole community that say, oh, you have to have it, and it's so great for detoxing. No, it is not. It is plant food, not people food.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Uh, Nico N asked opinion on garlic for removing candida overgrowth.
no,
Yeah.
no. Garlic is it's actually a poison. It's a poison for your pets. It's a poison for people. And we have been it's pretty much in everything. And I like garlic. Don't get me wrong, especially if it's roasted. My gosh, it's delicious. It doesn't mean it's good. And if you have garlic bread, for instance, it's like your body tries to get something out. When I eat garlic, it's like I get mucus. I get a lot of mucus. That's your body telling you, get rid of that stuff. I want to get out. So no, the candida, it's the same thing as with everything. It's like there is actually a parasite M from Dr. Morse, and that is for microorganisms, and you can put candida pretty much there too. It's fungus, mold, And it will help, but your diet will help even more. Get, alkaline diet, get on the fruits, and do all the things that we talked about from transitioning to raw, then further transitioning to fruits and to the juices, and do a water fast for a day, or doing a dry fast. Get your kidneys filtering. Your body will take care of things. And if you still, I did a 40-day lemon juice fast. And I was told to keep going until you could see that the tongue no longer had white on it. Well, after 40 days, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do it any longer. So I stopped, and my tongue was still white. So I knew that I still had to dig deeper. So that's just, what you do.
Yep.
But it's not, see, when you talk about taking garlic for candida, you actually saying, I'm going to do a treatment. And we're not treatment based. Treatment based healing, it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
You have to address everything in the body, not just, oh, I have candida. Okay, now why do you have candida? Why is candida thriving in your body? It's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then when we become alkaline, candida does not live. It cannot stay.
It's the same as with parasites. I mean, I've heard people who didn't take anything for it, and they were on all fruit, absolutely nothing else, and they saw the parasites leaving their body. So it can be done without, the parasite formulas that we have, or using wormwood or whatever other things, if you are on all fruit. But that is the problem. Often we are not. And we expect miracles after a lifetime, lifestyle that included meat and milk and dairy and eggs. So give it time.
Yeah. Yeah, and just a related question. Jack Brown says, Justin, didn't you take Dr. Clark's parasite cleanse? If so, how did you deal with taking the massive amounts of capsules each day? I bought it a few months ago, but couldn't finish the cleanse. So I did that. I didn't really notice any parasites coming out of me. I don't know if I'd already gotten rid of them or I just didn't see them. So I didn't notice anything major, but I dealt with that by just opening the capsules and mixing it, dumping the powder in a glass and mixing it with like lemon juice or something. Taking it that way, as that it's strong tasting, especially the wormwood. But yeah, that's how I did it. So I didn't have to take all those capsules. But like Toni said, it's if we just get on the fruit, we don't even need to do that. I just did it out of curiosity's sake and didn't really notice anything. So don't think I'll be doing that again. And then Rock and Roll asked, do either of you know anything about Jim Humble, MMS, mineral supplement, chlorine dioxide, protocols for purification?
I do actually know a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I have used it religiously every morning in a glass. I actually bought it by 5 pounds because it was going to help. What did it do? It made me sicker than ever. And I did it for almost a year. So I messed up my system. It is not food. It is, again, something external. And I absolutely loved what this guy showed, how he cleaned up a lake that was extremely, extremely dirty and cleaned it up into really clean water. Have you ever seen that video?
I haven't seen that one.
That is probably 5-6 years ago, because that is when I was taking it so much. And I was amazed with it. But his thing was, well, when it works there, it works in our body. And then I got in touch with somebody who said, this is the only way to get healthy and stay healthy and clean out our bodies. Well, I just got sicker on it because it doesn't take the acidity out of your body. And what are you doing when you take the MMS? Are you still eating meat, dairy, eggs, etc.?
Mhm.
You know, why do people want to take that? Because it is all considered like a quick fix, and it is not. It's like we have to stay with what the earth is offering us, and that's not anything that comes out of a lab.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I got some a while back just to experiment with, just to see what would happen. I didn't really have any major ailments or anything I was trying to heal from, but I took it consistently, followed Jim Humble protocol. Didn't notice anything significantly different. So maybe in a life-threatening situation, if someone needed to heal something fast, he seems to have had success with people who have had life-threatening illnesses and come in quickly. But overall, it's not the solution. It's not going to heal you. It's just um, it might be a step, but yeah, we got to get back to what we're intended to do, which is to take responsibility of our health and go the full measure.
I still have about 3 pounds sitting here,
Nice.
hidden away on top of a shelf. I haven't thrown it out yet.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
why.
it's good. It's a good survival thing to have if you ever needed to purify water.
Okay.
That's what they use for camping. The little camping tablets. You just throw those tablets in water and it purifies it. So same sort of thing. You just throw
Yeah,
them out.
that is what this guy did with that lake. I think it was somewhere in I don't know, Far East where they
Mm,
did that. It was
yeah,
amazing to see that.
yeah. Allison asks, question, I found out I was severely gluten intolerant in 2014, which we're all gluten intolerant. Probably sick for many years, eating the wrong foods. Any advice for permanently healing my gut? So really just everything that we teach here, the fruits, berries, and melons, getting an iridology reading, getting an herbal protocol are helpful tools. But really, if you just shift your diet to primarily, if not 100% fruit, you can heal everything.
Yeah, there is a formula that is called GI Renew. It comes from 0 to 5. 5 you take if you have heavy constipation, and 0 you take when you have bad diarrhea. So all the other numbers are in between. And previously that was actually called stomach and bowel support. So that is where I would start if you have been diagnosed with leaky gut, and which is actually the wrong name for it, because if you got leaks, then, well, that means that you have that liquids going outside your bowels, and that hurts.
Mm.
So it's but yeah, leaky gut, to me it means that there are some damages because of the grains. I had the same thing, and I haven't eaten any gluten for, my gosh, it's probably 12, 13 years now.
Wow. Yeah. Sue asked, do the white dots on the tongue correlate with a part of the body?
Well, that's actually interesting, because I do have a map somewhere, a chart that shows what everything on the tongue means. It's the same as with the teeth. There is every tooth is related to a part in your body. Didn't we already once put that in the show notes? If not, I have to find it,
Let's see.
because that is actually pretty interesting.
I don't think so. I don't have it in the show notes right now.
Oh, well, I know I've sent it to people, so I need to dig it up, and especially that for the tongue too. I haven't seen that for quite a while. But yeah, it's the same as with your hands, points in your hands that relate to parts in your body, and with the feet. It's isn't it beautiful how everything is connected?
It
It's
truly
from
is.
your iris to your feet, your hands, your teeth, your tongue. It's, yeah. So many ways of helping the body to get in balance, and it's all stuff that we can do ourselves. No doctors needed there
Mm-hmm.
or pharmaceuticals.
Right. Um, our Chile asked, how do you get rid of mold in the house? You'd have to do some research on that one.
I can tell you.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I found out I have mold in my house. And I just had a few months ago, I had a test, and last week I had a mold remediation company here. The only thing is that when the test was done, they made holes in the ceiling, and they were like, okay, this is this kind of mold, and what is it, 10 feet away, they found another kind of mold, which totally puzzled me because my ceiling is one open space. Why there are on a variety of spots different molds, but okay, I'll believe them. They didn't test the walls though, so we're still waiting on a company is going to do that before we start with the mold remediation. And I can tell you that's not going to be fun
Mm,
because I had, after a hurricane or storm, we had a leaking roof, and it showed in the ceiling. So that means that every spot in the ceiling they have to cut out. They cut out, they make a hole, like, what was it, 2 by 2 feet. Then they spray a chemical on it and then put a paint over it and then cover it with plastic until you can put in a new ceiling.
mm,
Everything in your house, the advice was to get everything out of the house. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen here. I don't see myself doing that. So then they said, well, we can cover it, and we have to put in every window, we have to put blowers, or you have to suck it actually all out. And you cannot be in that area. And then they move to the next area. So that is, and they do it in one day for the whole house. Now, usually these companies, they are used to do this in houses that are empty. They are kind of stripped and the mold is visible, and they go in with their protection. And yeah, my house isn't. I live here with my cat rescue, and the mold has been here for quite a few years. So yeah, that is what's going to happen with mold in a house. How it affects me, I don't know. It was now visible in my iris that I had lung issues, which are not noticeable for me. But in the iris, you can see things before you actually have the symptoms, and that is quite important to know. So I know I shouldn't ignore it. Yeah, well, that's the mold story.
mm.
Oh yeah, what I also have been doing, and I've done that for years, is for the air conditioner have the maximum protection filters.
Mm,
So I have the highest, whatever they call that, filters, and
mm.
they do take mold out. And instead of replacing them every 3 months, I replace them every month.
Yeah, and if you have that extra chlorine dioxide, you might want to see how that works on the mold. It might be a good cleaning agent.
Yeah, but it's still, you have to open it up, and they do spray on it and then paint over it. So whatever would still be alive is then covered under the paint.
Mm,
And I'm like, how the heck are they gonna get everything in such a big area?
right.
But they believe in it, and I'm like, okay. But it hasn't been done yet, because emptying a house, and I didn't know about that I had to empty it. So now I know. So we already putting things in storage. So mold remediation, call a company who's doing that, and see if that is what we had to do, if insurance covers it. And we had a great insurance, but the insurance company denied it.
Interesting. Yeah, well, and I know if you're renting a place, definitely hold your landlord accountable for doing that, because that's their responsibility to make sure that the place is habitable.
Well, we were actually in the process of buying it
Mm,
for a good price.
mm.
So it's still out in the open. but it's something that you rather not deal with. And I know of someone who is sick because of living in a moldy house, and she has been moving constantly to find a house that had no mold. So wherever she moves to, she has a mold inspection first, and even the new houses seem to have mold. Now the thing is, if you are outside, there's mold in the air. I mean, this is just all around it. If it's in your house, it's also outside. But if you are in your house, you are in a closed environment. So that is where it can be toxic to you. But it's always outside. There's mold everywhere. So I'm not surprised to even see in a new apartments that there is actually mold. It's not that easy to deal with. But this is where, again, our lifestyle comes in. The healthier we are, the more on fruit we are, the more alkaline we are, the easier our body can handle whatever is thrown at it.
Yes, absolutely. But we just have to get away from this idea that we are victims to everything around us and take responsibility of our body and get it to a space to where nothing can affect it. And that's yeah, that's being that alkaline man. That's wearing that armor of God, but in different ways. Cool. Well, we're up. We just came up on an hour, so another great show today. Did you have any closing comments before we leave off today?
No, just thanks everybody who has been here and is listening to us and get something out of it, I hope. We never script anything and never really know what we're going to talk about. It just, go with the flow, see what comes up.
Yep.
And I love it when people are here and that we can help. And I love to see hear see the questions. You can send the questions throughout the whole week. We can address them then the next week. My email is in the show notes. And thank you all for being here. Until the next time.
Yeah, thank you all. And yeah, like Toni said, receiving the questions ahead of time is helpful. But we love helping any way we can. So love you guys, love you, Toni, and we'll talk to you next time.